All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I'm not quite ready yet. Give me like 2 minutes. All right. So, some of you may have watched today's videos. Sort of what I'm going to address in this video. All right, so I guess first off, I should start with a little bit of backstory or something. What's up there, Real Jingy? I'm gonna sort of start at the beginning, bounce around a little bit here, but long story short, my local courthouse slash county complex. This would be the building where the county commissioners have their public meetings every couple of weeks. This is where the county clerk's office is. This is where the health department is, the prosecutor's office, as well as the circuit court, sheriff's department, a number of other things. Between these two buildings, there's several different offices. Excuse me. And as of August 6, 2013, we have this here court order. Okay, basically what it says is, I'm going to sort of skip through this just so you get to the point. Whereas the LaPorte Superior Courts have a duty to maintain the orderly administration of justice for the benefit of all persons. The premises contiguous hereto, LaPorte County Courts, including but not limited to the general public, litigants, and persons employed with the LaPorte County Courthouse and the LaPorte County Courthouse Annex. Whereas that possession of cellular telephones, pagers, other electronic devices, cameras, and other recording devices in the premises above described, excepting attorneys, employees displaying court-approved identification badges, and those persons granted a written exception by a LaPorte County judge, magistrate, or county commissioner, is contrary to maintaining the orderly administration of justice. And whereas the unauthorized, I said I was going to skip through this, now I'm just reading the whole thing. Whereas the unauthorized possession of cellular telephones, pagers, other electronic devices, cameras, and other recording devices impedes the duty of the courts of LaPorte County to provide for the safety and security of all persons lawfully upon the premises above described, and whereas to provide for the safety and security of the general public, litigants, and persons employed within the LaPorte County courthouses and LaPorte County Courthouse Annex, it has been determined that it is of paramount importance and now necessary to ban all cellular telephones, pagers, that part cracks me, nobody has a fucking pager anymore, pagers, other electronic devices, cameras, and other recording devices from the premises above described. Now, therefore, what's up there, Civilian X? Now, therefore, big bold print. Yes, pagers, Blue Unicorn. No pagers. No rotary phones, smoke signals, none of that shit. Now, therefore, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that no person, excepting attorneys, employees displaying court-approved identification badges, or persons granted a written exception shall possess cellular telephones, pagers, and other electronic devices, cameras in either one of these buildings. Here's the important part. The sheriff of LaPorte County is authorized to conduct non-invasive searches, there's no such thing, of persons and property entering the premises above described for the presence of cellular telephones, pagers, other electronic devices, cameras, and other recording devices in furtherance of the order herein. Such property, if discovered, may be confiscated and destroyed. Now, the first time they gave me this, they only gave me the first page. Second page says, the sheriff of LaPorte County is authorized to arrest and bring before the court all persons failing or refusing to abide by the order herein, to answer and show cause why the court should not hold said persons in contempt of the order herein. Jointly ordered this 6th day of August 2013. There's 4 judges' signatures here. William J. Boakland, LaPorte Superior Court Number 4. Kathleen B. Lang, LaPorte Superior Court Number 1. Richard R. Stallbrink, LaPorte Superior Court Number 2. Jennifer L. Cota, Koethe, LaPorte Superior Court Number 3. As of right now, only one of these judges is still a judge, but that's irrelevant. Basically, what this court order says is, without any form of due process at all, you have been banned from the property unless you jump through these hoops, meet these fucking stipulations, and if you don't, you'll be arrested and have your property taken, seized, searched, and destroyed. This is fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the reason this is so ridiculous is because, from a good bit of my research, from what I can understand, most counties in Indiana that violate these laws I'm about to get into, yes, destroyed Civilian X. Such property, if discovered through a non-invasive search, again, no such thing, may be confiscated and destroyed, as well as persons failing or refusing to abide by this order herein, to answer and show cause why the court should not hold said persons in contempt of the order herein. This is authorizing and commanding, ordering. This is an order for the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department as much as it is for the public. Now, basically what the fuck they're saying is, here, let's focus on this key language here. Have a duty to maintain the orderly administration of justice, accept attorneys, employees displaying court-approved identification badges, safety and security of the general public, paramount importance, blah, 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 fucking blah. Basically, they're hitting you with this old national security bullshit. And they're saying it's for the safety and security of you, but they won't let you document your own interactions so that you actually feel safe around them, as well as for the orderly administration of the courthouse. Because a bunch of attorneys allowed to have their phones in the courtroom, that's not going to be a problem at all. It's the motherfucker who can go to jail for recording in the courtroom. That's the guy that you got to ban from having a phone. Not the motherfucker who does it every day when I go to the courthouse and see these motherfuckers playing on their phone. So much so that they have to be told to fucking respond when the judge is talking to them because they're scrolling through Facebook in the fucking courtroom. Those motherfuckers you ain't got to worry about at all. But me recording when the police may or may not try to rough me up, I'm not allowed to do that. And it's for my safety. To provide for the safety and security of the general public. Now, let me tell you why this is bullshit. Because, A, you can't just take a motherfucker's phone. This has been addressed. This has been addressed. See that? 2014, United States Supreme Court. This phone shit. Don't let these fucking police tell you they can just take your fucking phone. They'll wrap themselves up trying to do it if you know your shit. Moving along. That's federal. Specific to Indiana, though. What we're going to talk about is what I was addressing in my video today. The location of the clerk's office, which is in this circuit courthouse that I was trying to enter today, and I was denied entry, and the county called the city on me to come and just hang out. But basically, under Indiana law, Indiana Code 33, 32, 2, 4, in regards to the clerk's office. And I quote, the Board of Commissioners, that'll be your president or your chairperson of the Board of Commissioners right now, Dr. Vidya Kora, who is also ex officio a member of the LaPorte County Public Records Commission in accordance with IC 515-6, I believe. All right. And I quote, the Board of Commissioners shall provide the clerk with an office at the county seat. That's LaPorte, Indiana, for LaPorte County, in a building provided for that purpose. They claim that this is the LaPorte County Courthouse with the clerk's office inside of it. However, Indiana Code 33, 32, 3, 4, regarding the circuit court judgment docket as a public record. And I quote, the circuit court judgment docket is a public record that is open during the usual business hours of transacting business for examination by any other person. Indiana Code 33, 32, 3, 5, execution docket. A, the clerk shall keep an execution docket. C, the execution docket entries may be inspected and copied under Indiana Code 514.3.3. Indiana Code 514.3 is Indiana's Access to Public Records Act. You'll hear me quote it a lot through my videos. Indiana Code 33, 32, 3, 6, monthly reports, certified copies and forms. B, the clerk shall 1, retain 1 copy as a public record of the clerk's office. Indiana Code 33, 32, 3, 7, the register of fees. The register must be available for inspection at all times. Indiana Code 514.3.3, the one we just referenced. A, any person may inspect and copy the public records of any public agency during the regular business hours of the agency, except as provided in Section 4 of this chapter. That'd be law enforcement, investigatory, exempt, attorney work product, and deliberative materials, which is oftentimes what they call real estate that is being bought and sold by a municipality in secret. Went through this process as well. They lost. B, a public agency may not deny or interfere with the right stated in subsection A. Within a reasonable time after the request is received by the agency, the public agency shall either 1, provide the requested copies to the person making the request, or 2, allow the person to make copies, B, on the person's own equipment. What's up there, Philly Love? Yeah, I take a lot of breaks. Actually, don't let the trolls fool you. 2 or 3 days a fucking month for this isn't wasting your life. All right. Now, let's discuss court records. That'll be the Indiana court rules, administrative rules. What we're going to be focusing on is Rule 9 here, access to court records. This is the most recent version of these court rules. I am going to be referring to my notes here, but you can find the shit online. It's 72 pages. You can print it off no problem from a PDF. Anyway, Rule 9, access to court records. D, general access rule. What's up, Charlie Holiday? Oh, man. I wish I had time to fucking go in on your stupid bitch ass right now, but I don't. But since I know you're a local, as you know, I'm home right now. So quit playing like you live far the fuck off and just acknowledge that you're one of these cops' disgruntled family members, or maybe even a police officer. But like I said, motherfucker, the light's off for you. Get off my feet. Anyway, general access rule. A court record is accessible to the public except as provided in Section 9G. 2. This rule applies to all court records, regardless of the manner of creation, method of collection, form of storage, or the form in which the record is maintained. If a court record or portion thereof is excluded from public access, there shall be a publicly accessible indication of the fact of exclusion, but not the content of the exclusion. 4. A court may manage access to audio and video recordings of its proceedings to the extent appropriate to avoid substantial interference with the resources or normal operation of the court and to comply with Indiana Judicial Code of Conduct Rule 2.17, formerly Canon 3B13. And basically, this provision does not operate to deny any person the right to access a court record under Rule 9D1, as in the judge's inability to let me. That's what the fuck this is the only thing that applies to this courthouse is to the judge, to the courtroom. It's a judicial canon. The judge is not allowed to broadcast from the courtroom, which, really quick here, this is a hot issue in Indiana. We're going to sidetrack a little bit here. Individual named Dan Brewington. He had a blog that he basically was documenting his interactions with paternity court. What ended up happening is he was charged with intimidation for his free speech. Triggered a lot of conversation. Is Brewington v. State a harbinger of a new era allowing judicial criticism by attorneys? Fast forward 4 years. IU McKinney. Yeah, this professor, Margaret Tarkington, just wrote this book here called The Voice of Justice, Reclaiming the First Amendment Rights of Lawyers. It's like $30 on Amazon, brand new, if you get the paperback. This is a sort of relevant thing here. Because this court order is claiming something that's been addressed in an Indiana Supreme Court as invalid as authorizing its authority. This has been addressed, like so much so that a fucking professor at Indiana University's Moore School of Law or IU McKinney or something of that nature, where she's a professor at, she wrote a fucking book on it. It's about to be a bestseller because a judge only has so much authority and it stops outside of his fucking courtroom. This is the problem with people misunderstanding where jurisdiction actually lies. Oh, Revolution Recorder. I'm working on some shit. Did you know as soon as you can locate a motherfucker's IP address, you can track down their fucking real address, your VIN number, all that shit. That's what I'm known for. It's doxing motherfuckers. So if you come on here as a troll, you're fucking stupid, because that's the hardest part to find. That's the hardest part to do, is to get YouTube to give me a list of IP addresses. Once that happens, it's over with. I can find all you motherfuckers. So you're playing with fucking fire. Anyway. But yeah, the Holiday's definitely a cop. I'm willing to bet he's a local. I'd be willing to bet his first name's Charles. I'd be willing to bet he's stupid enough to fucking advertise the shit on the back of his helmet on his social media pages. Anyway, just so there's no confusion, Rule 9, access to court records. C, definitions. For purpose of this rule. 1. Court record means both case records and court administrative records. 2. Case record means any document, information, data, or other item created, collected, received, or maintained by a court, court agency, or clerk of court in connection with a particular case. I got 3 open ones. They pretty much gave me a fucking key ring to come in there with my camera. 4, court means the Indiana Supreme Court, Court of Appeals and Tax Court, the clerk of a circuit superior probate court, the clerk of a city or town court, and the clerk of a Marion County small claims court, including staff. 5, clerk of court means the clerk of the Indiana Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, Tax Court, the clerk of a circuit superior or probate court, the clerk of a city or town court, and the clerk of a Marion County small claims court, including staff. 6, public access means the process whereby a person may inspect and copy a court record. 7, remote access, which is what they try to do when they try to spin you and tell you that you can access it online. Remote access means the ability of a person to inspect and copy information in a court record in electronic form through an electronic device. In electronic form means any information in a court record in a form that is readable through the use of an electronic device, regardless of the manner in which it was denied. Here in Indiana, they have a website that they put a lot of stuff on as public records as far as court stuff go. Rule 9, access to court records. B, who has access under this rule? 1, all persons have access to court records as provided in this rule, except as provided in section B2. B2, the following persons, in accordance with their functions within the judicial system, may have greater access to court records. D, the parties to a case or their lawyers with respect to their own case. Rule 9, access to court records. G, excluding court records from public access. 4, excluding other records from public access. In extraordinary circumstances, a court record that otherwise would be publicly accessible may be excluded from public access by a court having jurisdiction over the record, provided that each of the following 4 requirements are met. A, again, that's all 4, verified written request. B, notice and right to respond. C, public hearing. D, written order. Okay. An attorney, which is what the fuck a judge is, shall do the following in accordance with Indiana Code 334313 as far as duties. 1, support the Constitution and laws of the United States and Indiana. 3, only counsel or maintain actions, proceedings, or defenses that appear to the attorney to be legal and just. 8, never reject from any consideration personal to the attorney the cause of the defenseless or oppressed. Now, let me make sure it covered all this here. Yeah. All right. So, the gist of this is either A, they're going to take these signs down that say no electronic devices, no cell phones, no pagers. They're going to take all these fucking signs down. And they're going to let me come in here and record. Because that's going to be their idea. Their idea is going to be to take these electronic device ban signs down and to fucking recycle this order. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to send a cease and desist order to the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners, specifically to their president in his ex officio office as LaPorte County Public Records Commission member, as well as the numerous other LaPorte County Public Records Commission members, one of which happens to be LaPorte County Clerk of Courts, Kathy Kroback. Now, what's going to happen is they're not going to want to move her building, or move her office. So when I send her this, or when I send the LaPorte County Board of Commissioners this cease and desist order, because they're responsible for providing the clerk of courts an office. That basically says they need to cease and desist requiring the clerk to be in an office that's inaccessible to the public. Because that's what this is. This is a building that has an office inside of it that's inaccessible to the public. And what's going to happen is I'm going to file under Indiana Code 514.3.9, and I believe it's Indiana Code 514.1.57, but I'm not 99. It's been a long day. Not 99% on the 7, but pretty sure it's IC 514.1.57 of the open door law, and IC 514.3.9 of the Indiana Access to Public Records Act. And basically, this is an appeal process that you can file in the circuit or superior court within 30 days. I am on Kiwi Farms, Philly Love. Don't you know they love me? Oh, yeah, tell James Connor Moon, as soon as I get time, I know he's in his mama's basement, and I'm going to ruin his life because I'm pretty good. And Florida's all about fucking public records, so we live in a stupid fucking state to target a motherfucker like me. So, yeah. Yes. No. Doc Holliday. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you not listening to what I'm saying? Officer, I get it. They're telling you that I'm some sort of a fucking paper terrorist and that I'm not allowed to do these things. But rest assured, you can come over, bro. I'll make coffee. You can bump some cigarettes. I'll break this shit down to your bitch ass. Like, I'll teach you how to read. Do you not know how to read? Is that what the fuck it is, Doc Holliday? You don't know how to read? It's nothing to be embarrassed about, man. Like, we'll teach you. We love to educate in this community. But if you don't know how to read, you got to say something, man. Like, you can't just keep letting me explain this shit to you and then just be like, oh, I heard you get arrested. I heard you get arrested. Oh, Philly Love, man, find me on Facebook. I'll send you my fucking profile on Kiwi Farms. I think it's that funny. There's nothing to make you feel like a man, like targeting fucking disabled people for humiliation on the internet. You know what I mean? Kiwi Farms is some pretty low down shit. Anyway, basically, what I did today was I went to the courthouse, fully anticipated a denial of entry based upon, them enforcing this bullshit. I expected that maybe they'd let me speak to their supervisor and let me rattle off a little bit of this case law just so I can voice my objection. And then basically I just need an official denial. I got my official denial today. Basically at 24 hours from today, my 30-day time period to file a civil action in circuit or superior court, like I already won before. We're going to go ahead and do that. As well as I found this new one that's it challenges governmental actions, right? So maybe we love all these little test runs and shit. So we learn all this stuff the first time, so then when they really fuck up, you can nail their ass to the wall. Like what I'm about to do, I went in here today and I basically documented the shit out of it, so that I could, run them the fuck up. And they didn't disappoint. As a matter of fact, the LaPorte Police Department showing up and trying to exercise some sort of municipal jurisdiction in a county building, while I'm waiting there, they show up and they don't exactly hit me with the "are you refusing to leave" shit, but they were clearly called there for me. This motherfucker is supposed to be waiting on a supervisor who he doesn't have, so he just calls the police. So they didn't disappoint at all. The county calling city police to come deal with their fucking problems over a county clerk's office inside of a county courthouse based upon a county court order with the LaPorte Police Department. It definitely shows collusion. It definitely shows them working together. LaPorte Police Department, LaPorte County Sheriff's Department, definitely working together. So at this point, they fucked themselves. They're not going to be able to play the whole this department did that, this department did this bullshit anymore. It's starting to get very, very obvious that they're working together under the same agenda. You know what I mean? And the agenda is to just basically keep me out of anywhere if I have a camera. Doesn't matter what the fuck I'm doing. If I got a camera, shit doesn't add up. So, like I said, definitely filing on this, not a problem. It's more of, I wanted to show how far they were willing to take it. You know what I mean? There's, you know, the videos fucking, it is what it is. But the officers were, they just, you know, they have no idea why the fuck they're there. I ask him, you know, why were you dispatched here? And he's like, where? Like, here, where the fuck you're at? Like, are you high? You know, were you dispatched? Well, we were dispatched because we were dispatched to the dispatch with a patch of disses. And I'm like, what? And he's like, we just told you why we were dispatched. No, you didn't. You circled the fuck around it. And then your buddy tried to answer. Like, the shit's hilarious because we're 3 years into this and they know I know my shit. They got 11 attorneys. I fucking schooled their dude in court. Like, he stares at his fucking feet when he fucking sees me in shame. Like, yeah. So wife's telling me to watch my language. I'm getting comments that I'm being funny right now. So anyway, they yeah, that's what they do. They stare fucking speechless because Indiana Code 33324, that sounds like some shit that I'd say. Like, I should start walking in here and put the fucking camera rolling and just anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You motherfuckers know what it is. I'm one of you guys. That's what the fuck it is. I'm better at this surveillancing and recording and just finding any old law to apply to a motherfucker to try to send him to jail. I'm better at it than the police, and that's what the fucking problem is I'm a better cop, and I'm aimed at all the politicians. So it's, yeah, fuck it. Yes! Good job, Blue Unicorn. Doc Holliday was a piece of shit criminal that became a cop. Just like every motherfucker that you've ever known who didn't become a cop that was like, if I was going to be a cop, I'd be a dirty piece of shit. I'd steal people's stuff and I'd let them go for cocaine because those cops aren't really out there. Just every motherfucker that you ever met who wasn't a cop that told you if they were, they'd be a crooked cop. You know what I mean? It's anyway. Yeah, I wasn't gonna stay on here too long. What happened to my RICO charge? I don't have a RICO charge. I'm trying to initiate RICO charges. Stoner0046, who I notice that you keep treating me like I'm some sort of a criminal here, but you chose to name yourself Stoner. But whatever, man. Anyway, as far as civil RICO goes, yeah, that's 1962 C and D. As a matter of fact, here, let me get you some real fun shit to check into. Oh, we're searching. Oh, I just had it. Anyway. Yeah, let's talk about RICO. Civil RICO, 1962 C and D. All right. This is a civil action to initiate prosecution. All right. Now, why do you know RICO? Because it's what they used to take down the fucking mafia with. All right. And that's what these motherfuckers are. Your city council people, all your elected motherfuckers stealing all your goddamn money. They're like a mafia, right? That's why the police show up. They're enforcers. You know what I mean? Pay us or something bad might happen. Pay us to protect you, man, or something bad might happen to you. Like we might come in here and start a grease fire. That's what the mafia does. Anyway, 18 U.S. Code 1512. Tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. Now, No, it sounds a little off. Witness, victim, or an informant. However, what a witness, victim, or an informant is someone who intends to testify in an official proceeding. If you have an interaction with police and it goes negatively, and you go and you try to, FOIA them. Here in Indiana, it's called APRA. Florida, it's the Sunshine Law. Try to get these public records to prove what happened to you, right? And the police, they do all this shit to obstruct you. Politicians do shit to obstruct you. They don't want you to get this footage. They don't want you to get the video footage. They don't want you to get the police reports. They don't want you to get the case report. They don't want you to get none of this shit that proves that they fucked up, right? Because what you've said is you're going to sue. So they try to withhold all these records from you. And what they'll claim is that it's in anticipation of litigation. Sometimes they use law enforcement investigatory records bullshit. Sometimes they use deliberative materials. That's a little less likely. Sometimes they use this attorney work product, which is basically saying, we can't talk to you. We're not going to communicate with you. We're not going to provide you anything. All this bullshit, get a subpoena, talk to your lawyer, yada, yada, yada. All that shit is in anticipation of litigation. Now, if you have intentions of filing a 1983, 1985, 241, 242, ADA complaint, anything like that, if you're going to sue in a federal court, if you have intentions of suing in a federal court, this protects you. 18 U.S. Code 1512, tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. 2, whoever uses physical force or the threat of physical force against any person or attempts to do so with intent to A, influence, delay, or prevent the testimony of any person in an official proceeding. B, cause or induce any person to I, withhold testimony, or not I, 1, withhold testimony or withhold a record, document, or other object from an official proceeding. 2, alter, destroy, mutilate, or conceal an object with intent to impair the integrity or availability of the object for use in an official proceeding. 3, evade legal process, summoning that person to appear as a witness or produce a record, document, or other object in an official proceeding. Or 4, be absent from an official proceeding to which that person has been summoned by legal process. Or C, hinder, delay, or prevent the communication to a law enforcement officer or judge of the United States of information relating to the commission or possible commission of a federal offense or a violation of conditions of probation, supervised release, parole, or release pending judicial proceedings, shall be punished as provided in paragraph 3. The punishment for an offense under this subsection is B, in the case of the use of attempt to, the use of attempted or the use or attempted use of physical force against any person, imprisonment for not more than 30 years, and C, in the case of the threat of use of physical force against any person, imprisonment for not more than 20 years. Now, let's go through this again. Whoever uses physical force or the threat of physical force against any person with intent to influence, delay, or prevent the testimony in an official proceeding. An official proceeding is defined as anything in front of a federal judge, anything in a federal courtroom. If you have intentions to file a 1983 lawsuit, 18 U.S. Code 1512, tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant, may apply to you. Should you determine that it applies to you, you may intend to file a claim under Civil RICO 1962 C and D for damages. Indiana also has a Civil RICO, corrupt business influence statute. However, the federal applies. The courts would not prosecute a LEO on that charge, though. Right. That's why you take it out of the court's hands. You see, the thing about RICO is you have 4 years. You have 4 years to file a RICO case. 4 years. I'm getting all my shit, all my paperwork, all my proof first. We are going for summary judgment. You see, these cops keep fucking up. They keep letting me go into circuit court, locally, superior court, with all these bullshit criminal charges, and I'm putting shit on the record, and I'm proving it. these seeds that I'm planting in the record with all these bullshit cases locally, they don't know what to do with it. They're not responding to everything I'm saying. They're actually proving a lot of the shit that I'm saying correctly. By the time I file this in federal court, they won't be able to argue with anything that I'm saying. We're going straight for summary judgment. They're going to pay me. They're not even going to respond to my suit because they won't be able to without risking perjury. They're putting all this shit on the record now in all these bullshit civil suits and misdemeanors because they're stupid. And by the time they get to a federal court, they won't be able to misrepresent anything. They won't be able to lie. They've already owned up and clarified so much information that when I file my civil RICO suit, all I'm doing is quoting them. You think I'm going to... I won't need anything else. I can quote nothing but police officers and police reports where they say that they're breaking the law. Repetitively, they say why. They say who told them to. They say what their motives are. They say that they knew that it was illegal. That's what happens when you have years of paperwork, is people fuck up. They forget what they wrote 2 years ago. You know what I mean? That's what happens when a prosecutor has 1,000 people to prosecute. They have that many cases to worry about. Like, I don't. I know what the fuck was said in every piece of paperwork that I have because I only got one fucking person's cases to worry about. It's a lot easier for me than it is for them. Don't let their fucking system fool you. They use their system against you all the time, but their system is very overwhelming to them. If all you have to do is worry about yourself, it's a lot different. If you don't have to manage an entire team of people and keep them from fucking up as much as you're trying to keep yourself from fucking up, it's a little bit easier. Like, as I said, the city of LaPorte has 11 attorneys right now on contract. They couldn't keep me from obtaining 12 pieces of paper. So, Indiana Code 34.11.26, sheriffs or public officers' actions growing out of liability incurred during official acts or omissions of duty. An action against A, a sheriff, B, another public officer, or C, the officer and the officer's sureties on a public bond. Yes, Kevin R., I do play the long game. You know how much the county clerk's public bond's worth? I think it's $300,000. And it can be claimed upon more than once. The officer and the officer's sureties on a public bond growing out of a liability incurred by doing an act in an official capacity or by the omission of an official duty must be commenced within 5 years after the cause of action accrues. However, an action may be commenced against the officer or the officer's legal representatives for money collected in an official capacity and not paid over at any time within 6 years after the cause of action accrues. You see, most people think that injury or forfeiture of penalty actions, an action for injury to a person or character, injury to personal property, or a forfeiture of penalty given by statute must be commenced within 2 years after the cause of action accrues under Indiana Code 34.11.24. But as I said, just got to scroll down. Indiana Code 34.11.26 is what applies to sheriffs or public officers. It gives you a 5-year statute of limitations to sue. So I got more than enough time to fucking do the paperwork the right way instead of, running off and getting some sort of a fucking lawyer to file a suit immediately so that they shut down all the routes to the paperwork. I'm just collecting the paperwork simply with public records request until I actually file my suit, and then everything will be covered by litigation and shit like that, but it won't matter because guess what? I spent years obtaining all the fucking evidence, all the evidence of corruption over the beginning. Have all that. I can prove all that shit. I'm playing the long game. I want these motherfuckers out of here. I don't want your money. I don't want my community's money. Doc Holliday, bruh, you realize I cannot force 5 cops to come waste taxpayers' money just because I'm diagnosed with a disability. A, doesn't mean I don't have a fucking job. B, doesn't mean that I get a social security check. And C, doesn't mean I'm responsible for you being such a fucking coward that you can't tell your goddamn government to stop overtaxing you. Like, shut the fuck up with this goddamn bullshit because I make a fucking video where I'm talking about politicians stealing millions of fucking dollars every month, and I choose to actually participate in some sort of a civic engagement, like going to a city council meeting instead of, you can vote to fucking murder me with your laws, but if I actually go and watch them vote on the laws, then I have nothing but time on my fucking hands. Like, you know who's the real piece of shit? The motherfucker who doesn't want to participate. Like, how fucking stupid can you possibly be to think that if you don't go and attend these meetings, you have no right to complain about any money that the government, like, even if I did get a social security check, you don't have any right to complain. You don't have any right to complain. You know why? Because you sat the fucking home and bitch, and you're on my shit complaining like a little bitch. Like, take your ass down to city council. Take your ass down to the redevelopment commission. Go figure out what the fucking executive commission meeting is for when they discuss real estate and why the public's not aware of how all this fucking land is somehow owned by a municipality. Like, get the fuck off my feed with this I'm wasting your tax dollars fucking bullshit. Like, I'm going to redistribute your tax dollars, motherfucker. Like, fuck wasting your tax dollars. I'm literally going to steal your tax dollars. I'm taking them by force. I'm going to redistribute them to make everybody that I'm fucking with, I'm going to make them look like assholes because I don't want your money. I'm going to give it back to the town. But, oh no, come on, Philly. We love Doc. You see, Doc is a local. Doc's a local, but he knows exactly where I live, and it's a small town, and it's like I'll meet him in the front yard. But instead, he's gonna sit on here on the Facebook Live and call me a coward and shit. But I mean, his mommy raised a bitch. That's why he's on here talking shit and instead of knocking on my fucking door like a man. So don't pay him no attention. Like, I got sympathy for cowards. You know what I mean? It's a sad thing. Like, I've never been a coward, so like I feel bad for them people. You know what I mean? But he's here because he wants to learn. You know what I mean? Or he's one of them people that the social media captain Degnagard for the Laporte Police Department is overseeing or something. But I mean. If you see how pretty these babies come out, you might. Anyway, don't mind the trolls, man. The trolls serve their purpose. They get conversations started. They, I mean, yeah, that sounds good. I don't run around motherfucking trying to kidnap poor people because a motherfucker told me to. Like, a coward to me is a motherfucker that can be told what to do, and does it. Like, that's a police officer, bro. A coward. You know what I mean? Like, there's 3 of them in my videos early. Like, they don't even know why the fuck they're there. A motherfucker told them to go there, and they did what the fuck they were told because they're scared to say no. That's a coward, motherfucker. Like, Officer Holiday, you are a coward. Yeah, terrified of, yeah. What do you not understand about this, bro? Like, it's a bunch of fucking 88 IQ motherfuckers running around with a gun claiming to enforce some shit that they can barely fucking read, called the law. Yeah, it's terrifying when a gang of fucking morons. Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm an advocate for self-defense. To me, self-defense is not violence. I claim that I will use self-defense and I use nonviolent resistance, but I've not actually done anything violent to anyone. And that's the best part is I've been doing this for years. They pulled the crazy card, the violent card, all this shit. They can't sue me because I don't give a shit about money. And well, the sheriff don't want me in his motherfucking jail because if everybody knew this shit, they'd really have a fucking problem. And guess what? Guess who has nothing but time to listen to the fucking law? 2 women arrested me. Actually, if you want to know, there's this cop named Matt Drangmeister, and he comes up from behind me. He's kind of like steroided out and shit, and it just so happens that he's like related to somebody that I'm close to, and I see him out and about and, you know, social gatherings and stuff. But he actually comes up from behind me and chokes me, puts me in a chokehold. And then, you know, because chokeholds aren't exactly ideal for a police report, he describes it very weird. Like, I came up from behind him and grabbed him by the chest, and then something like, he doesn't write up that he came up from behind me and put me in a chokehold. He kind of writes it up like he tried to sexually assault me and changed his mind. So, and then there's Officer Loza. He was there today. It's interesting because you see two people clearly in front of me on video, and then I'm just on the ground that you think that two women obviously tackled me, which even if they did, yeah, my YouTube trolls are like telling me I should have, like, you know, just kicked these women in the face, and then they tell me I'm the violent one. And it's amazing to watch you guys have these like back and forth psychotic breaks where you tell me I should, like, you know, fucking murder the police, but then I'm a coward for not doing it and shit like that. Like, it's yeah, like I said, Doc Holliday, you know where I'm at, bro. Come on, like, I need some recreation. Oh, since we're addressing troll shit too, like, marijuana is not a drug. Okay, cannabis is not a drug. I definitely got a weed case. I wear that shit like a badge of honor, like a fucking Boy Scout across my chest. I don't give a fuck if you look me up and see that I have a felony dealing marijuana. I straight sold like 2.5 ounces of Reggie weed to CI number 741, Chris Turtell. He's in Florida right now. He's got a bunch of domestic batteries. He got caught with more weed than me, and he managed to get a BMW out of whatever deal he made with the police and the prosecutor's office. So, like, I don't give a fuck about that. That whole in a school zone thing. It was like 6, 7 o'clock at night on a Friday. There weren't no fucking kids in the school. But it's real easy for trolls to get online and try to dirty your name with all this fucking bullshit. But yeah, I gave a motherfucker a dead plant because, you know, it's not that big of a deal to me. He, you know, don't really care. You can get on here and try to say I'm drug dealing to kids all you want, but the shit's public record. It cracks me the fuck up. Then I got a gun case for literally carrying a gun in America. So yeah, but we can talk about how the local prosecutor's office has got a nephew running around selling cocaine. And I'll be goddamned if he's not dumb enough to fucking tell you that his last name's Esbar, and that's why he thinks going to fucking get away with it. I know like 10 people right now that could told me all I need is like fucking half ounce of cocaine, and I could go hire like 5 different attorneys in town. So, I mean, the shit's pretty funny. Like I said, by the way, locally, we had a police officer that stole some pain pills out of the evidence room and then killed himself when he got caught. We had a coroner who was selling pain pills, and it just so happens, actually, you can't carry a gun as a felon. God damn, bro, you're fucking stupid, man. I swear to God, why don't you get off my fucking page, man? Like, the shit's entertaining sometimes, but it's like, you can't be that motherfucking ignorant. Like, Indiana, for one, Indiana believes that a felon has the right to carry a gun in their home. Indiana is one of 50 states that allows a citizen to kill a fucking cop if they don't have a warrant. Like, have you ever fucking been to this fucking hilljack fucking state? Like, it's corn and meth and fucking conservative views. Like, what the fuck makes you think that a felon can't have a gun here? Like, oh my God. You don't even lose your right to carry a gun in the state of Indiana when you're convicted of a felony, just so you know. You become disenfranchised. You lose your right to vote, your right to seek and hold public office, and your right to sit on a jury. After so many years, you have these rights restored. which means your rights are re-enfranchised. Once you have these three rights, the right to vote, right to seek and hold public office, and your right to sit on a jury restored, you automatically have your right to carry a firearm restored in the state of Indiana, as well as in your home in the state of Indiana. As a felon, you have the right to kill an intruder. This has been discussed in multiple different fucking case laws. Whether you're a felon or not, possession in your fucking home is self-defense. Then they took it one step further and said that if a police knocks on your door, doesn't have a warrant, and tries to come in that motherfucker, then you can shoot him and kill the motherfucker. Like, read the fucking laws. Why do I have a gun charge? Because I beat it in the state. I was federally indicted under 922G1, and I fought it there too. Mr. Holiday, since you think I don't know my shit, go on YouTube, where we're at now. Look up these Johnny Cochran gun commercials, right? Johnny Cochran, before he died, they had him, the NRA had Johnny Cochran make these commercials, right? So basically, if you're a felon, you get caught with a firearm, not even Johnny Cochran can get you less than the mandatory minimum of 5 years. I fought my shit. I did a little under, I got sentenced to a little under 3. So Johnny Cochran to get you 5 years for a gun case. I get myself 3. So yeah. Why'd I get a gun case? Because the feds play a different game. To be perfectly honest, that the whole I'm going to go to trial and you guys are going to spend all this money, that shit don't work with feds. Bottom line. I'll be honest. This motherfucker looked right at me and said, you know, we make the money, right? And that was it. Started thinking real long and hard. It was basically my public defender told me about my gun case, my possession of a firearm in America, which is, you know, apparently fucking illegal. Who knew? I would have beat it on appeal. But it was a matter of how long sit in prison waiting to beat it on appeal. So I took a fucking plea bargain and got out like a year later. But like I said, my criminal history, I don't take that shit personally just because people fucking know about it. That was a lifetime ago. And to be perfectly honest, that's why I think the way I do about all this shit is I did a lot of time in a cage for some bullshit. You know, what I'm being told is my Second Amendment right. Went to prison for that. Carrying a dead plant in my pocket. Went to the county for that. You know what I mean? I've been arrested for walking on the sidewalk, where I was arrested for walking in the road 2 seconds later, and then I get arrested for fucking disorderly conduct for saying that there's no other way to walk but the road or the sidewalk. So I don't have no tolerance for a bunch of corrupt politicians, attorneys, judges, police, all these motherfuckers stealing money and doing all this fucking bullshit. Yeah, I think these motherfuckers should be held to the same standard as me, if not a higher standard, because they're entrusted by the public. Like, I ain't ever stole no $3 million in a month. Everything I've ever done in my entire life, never stole $1 million in a month. Never stole $2 million the next month. Never stole 2.5 million the next month. And I never had the audacity to call that shit miscellaneous and pretty much spit in the face of the fucking public as far as transparency goes. So all that bullshit, criminal history, yeah, I rehabilitated. That whole take all that energy and put it into something positive. They told me that shit a long time ago. This is that positive shit. The criminal history thing, nothing. That's why I learned my respect for the law. But I'll tell you this much: possession of a firearm, that ain't shit. Start running around with a camera. See how many times you get accused of a crime. Shit. This motherfucker here, this will get you shot faster than an assault rifle. Period. And gun thing. That's fucking stupid. You know what a felon can go by right now? Elemental potassium. Just add water. Turns into a flammable gas. Like, the guns thing is fucking stupid ass argument. Philly Love, what are my current charges? I'm charged with trespassing, At City Hall, there's a video for that. I was there with a court order for some paperwork. Then I got a resisting law enforcement with that naturally. Then I got a battery on a motherfucker to try to take my phone. And then I got an intimidation on the city attorney for fucking some goofy shit. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. What's up, Huckleberry? I see your messages and shit. I'm gonna go ahead and drop me a fucking, for people who want to get a hold of me, man, shoot the shit, get some feedback. I don't mind at all having minds to fucking kick shit back and forth with. Excuse my language, everybody. I'm getting a little exhausted here today. Anyway, I'm always down for a feedback loop, see what other people's, I'm interested in all 50 states' laws, but I don't mind trying to have conversations with other people who are, representing themselves, pro se, self-advocate, stuff like that. Help me help you kind of thing. The intimidation is a misdemeanor. They just claim fear. He don't even claim fear for his safety. He just claims he's scared. But for anybody that's interested in some more in-depth stuff, when we have a little bit more of a personal conversation, you can get a hold of me at insightful@protonmail.com. This is an encrypted email. So if you could go ahead and set yourself up a Proton Mail to encrypt the other end, or you've got another service that you use, that'd be awesome. You get a lot faster response from me. But that's insightful@protonmail.com. Capital I, capital N, lowercase CITE, capital FULL @protonmail.com. Maury, MBA. How can one support? Just keep watching. If you're, if you happen to be subscribed, hit the bell for notifications. Live feeds are always good to have people watching with. It's good to have somebody that has your back and whatnot, keeping an eye on things. If you were asking about like a PayPal account or something, there's one listed in my About Me at the bottom. I think it's like PayPal/LCICW. It's was formerly LaPorte County, Indiana Corruption Watch before I was a LaPorte reporter. But if you're looking for a PayPal, it's listed in my About Me section at the bottom. If you get to a part where it's talking about a bunch of lakes and civil RICO, thank you. I don't ask for donations or anything. I maybe like 3 years into this before I even made a PayPal account, and I don't even know if it's got money in there right now. It's yeah, I should check that thing. Thanks for reminding me. But yeah, I do this because I live in a really nice town with some really awesome people, and there's a very small group that's fucking it up for everybody. Bottom line, I live in some like Norman Rockwell postcard kind of a town. The downtown's, it's pretty historical. It's beautiful. We got, I think there's, as far, what is it? With the newest lake that they just annexed in, which, spoiler alert, probably going to challenge that based upon a lack of adequate public notice. Fuck up that. That's a verse with a judge's order. But there's like 7 lakes, I think, in this town, 16 to 18 parks, something like that. It's heaven if you're a small town Indiana boy and you love nature. LaPorte, Indiana is an amazing fucking place to live. The problem is our politicians are the same old families that have been running shit for years. This is was a factory town. A lot of the factories shut down. A lot of jobs lost and shit over the years. And then politicians that sort of had halfway plans didn't complete anything and dipped the fuck out, as well as heroin doing its thing for about 10, 11 years. A lot of shit got messed up, and the locals want change. The locals want different politicians, different, they want people who aren't related to the guy who just left office. They want something different. They want to be involved in the process. They want to know where the money's going. They want to be able to have their opinions heard. They want these decisions to reflect that they participated in it. They want, their city council people to reflect the voices in their ward. They want the county commissioners to put the issues that people are bringing to their board on the agenda. They want to be able to access the meeting minutes. They want to be able to see the doings of their government. And years ago, when I first started looking into a lot of this stuff, it was a lot fucking different. They were very resistant to everything I did. Now, fast forwarding in hindsight and everything, they're a lot more compliant. You know what I mean? They're learning shit. They're learning that they can't keep the public out all the way if they want to. And I'm happy to participate in that. Locally, I talk to people in my community all the time that more than support what I'm doing. So it's never been about money or notoriety or being YouTube famous or anything. I originally started out making these videos to document things because I was basically told that I was a liar. Every time I didn't have a video of what exactly happened, I was called a liar. So I started documenting everything, and then my documenting made people uncomfortable. Now they seem to be a little more used to it. We're getting there. Still a lot of work to do, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. Civilian X. They're learning that they can't do this shit to everybody. Some people can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Doc, if you're so smart like you claim, why not focus on trying to get your city to help with the drug addicts? Yeah. Yeah, you don't know a lot of shit about me, do you? Anyway, so locally, Doc Holliday. So locally, I'm running for LaPorte County Solid Waste Supervisory District position right now. I'm basically, I'm more into environmental stuff and nature and everything. However, I do have a lot of interest in inmate and prisoner reentry stuff, and basically, I'm trying to get the jail recycling. I'm trying to get them doing inmate gardening programs, because personally, I believe a lot of the issue with heroin, specifically drug use, is a lot of these people put themselves in situations that are quite traumatic. In interacting in this environment, specifically women. I don't know if you know how easy it is for women to get drugs, but a lot of the shit that women go through to get drugs is a little bit different than what men go through to get drugs. I believe there are things other than getting a job, upon release from prison and jail and shit like that, or after you're sober. Just getting a job and working 60 hours a week doesn't fix your fucking problems. If you have that desire to fix your fucking life, just having a job doesn't really fix it. You need something else to fucking do. In my opinion, my experiences with post-traumatic stress disorder myself, I'm a big fan of gardening, and I'm a big fan of being outside, nature. I like to hike. I like to bird watch. I like to kayak. I like to canoe. I'm not really into fishing, hunting, shit like that. I'd like to see my community support a reentry program that has inmates coming out, getting jobs, specifically In my area, I'd like to see one of these factories recycling plastic bags because there's nowhere that handles that around here locally. All kinds of shit. Oh, no government funds now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want me to fix the world, but no, don't use the government money. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so entertain that for as long as I could. Anyway, so don't get it fucked up. This ain't the only thing I do. I'm a master recycler. It is what it is. I got all kinds of shit. Um, Once the city and the county pays me all this money, trust me, I can't wait to do cool shit in this place. Um, there's a lot of potential here. And if it wasn't the old white faces that surrounded everything, it'd probably be a lot different place. Anyway, Brent FTP. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, it's all government funds. I don't use government funds for my sober houses. Well, I don't know if you know this, but we've been in Afghanistan for a really long time, and we've been guarding opiate fields. And, like 85% of the world's opiate supply comes from Afghanistan. And it just so happens, coincidentally, the United States of America uses 85% of the world's opiate supply. That's why half our country is strung out on pain pills and heroin. But it has nothing to do with the veterans that we're sending to Afghanistan right now. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. That tax-funded shit, nope, nothing to do with nothing. That's not your tax dollars. That's not your tax dollars. I mean, when I was in prison, this whole get a job thing, I was in Atlanta USP, right? In prison. And you know what my job was when I was in prison? I sewed together battle dress uniforms for United States soldiers, BDUs. Yep. When I was in prison and soldiers were in Afghanistan in the desert in an opiate field looking for my lost freedom, lo and behold, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, in a cage for exercising my Second Amendment right. And while I was there, I was sewing battle dress uniforms for United States soldiers together for pennies a day. Which, as far as I know, all you motherfuckers with those stupid fucking pink ribbons on the back of your fucking car, or what the fuck ever, yellow ribbons. Sorry, not the pink breast cancers. Anyway, all you veteran supporters, I'd like to know when any of you motherfuckers had a job sewing together battle dress uniforms, because as far as I know, they only do it in prisons. You see, that's how war works. That's how you do the shit. You take prisoners of war and you threaten them with death, and you tell them work brings freedom, and you have them manufacture all your war supplies. So while you're talking about your stupid fucking job where you pay all these taxes so you can feel like a fucking man, just know that's bullshit. All you're doing is funding your corrupt government that you're likely, you seem very conservative, so probably stockpiling weapons against. Anyway, this has been a long ass video, but I just went with it. You guys have been pretty talkative tonight, so thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh yeah. Last heroin epidemic was in the 60s. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, is now they try to make the shit out to be like some sort of mythological thing. Like, you can watch Narcos Mexico, you can watch all this shit, and you can figure out that the CIA was fucking funneling cocaine through Nicaragua and Panama and all kinds of shit with drug cartels. You can look the shit up in Vietnam and figure out that we were bringing heroin over, like that more people were getting strung out on heroin than were like doing other shit in Vietnam. Like, you start to read into it and you find some really ugly shit. But it's not like that's what we're doing in Afghanistan right now. It's totally not why we're in Afghanistan. It has nothing to do with the opium or the lithium that's in your phones, because Well, when you got like 320 million people running around in America and you need all of them dumbed the fuck down to where all they do is go to work and manufacture shit so that they stay as the producer, not the consumer, and you need them with their fucking phones in their hands all the time. You have to invade countries like Afghanistan to maintain a lithium supply. Then you need these motherfuckers strung out. Like, you only need them to go to work. You need them to work through the back pain and get trashed ass drunk on the fucking weekends so they can start drinking coffee back at it Monday through Friday. This is America. This is what they want. They want you fucking stupid. They want you busy as fuck. They want you to drink coffee Monday through Friday, pop pain pills, get trashed all weekend, and maintain the status quo of producing. Your value is based upon manufacturing. Maintain the war machine. That's why they don't want you to know what the fuck is going on. It's not that hard to figure out. That's why ask questions, point a camera, shit like that. That's when motherfuckers start to get skeptical. A bunch of armed, violent motherfuckers can show up and wonder why you're the nervous motherfucker. They're scared because you have a camera. It's because what they're scared of is you exposing what's going on. This works from the local level all the way to the top. From your fucking redevelopment commission to your city council, all the way to the fucking top, to CIA, FBI, all these motherfuckers. They don't want you to know what's going on because then you want to have a say-so and you want to exercise your voice and shit like that. So they need you to shut the fuck up. They need you to have your phone in your hand. They need you to be strung out on pain pills. They need you to be ignorant to the way things work so you don't ask questions. Anyway, I'm gonna get the fuck off here. I need to get me some food in my belly. But good live stream, everybody. Huckleberry, get a hold of me. Like I said, insightful@protonmail.com. That's capital I, capital N, lowercase CITE, capital L, capital U, capital L, capital L, @protonmail.com. And for the individuals who are asking about the PayPal, like I said, it's in the about. Thank you for anything in advance. Anything, I'm sure we'll, find something to put it towards. Could probably use some new memory cards, to be honest. But till next time, probably going to take the weekend off. So I got to work on some paperwork. That's about it. You guys enjoy. If you're in Indiana, the weather's been pretty nice. Enjoy the weekend. Get outside. Take it all in. Till then, stay safe. Stay informed. Don't let them get you. Good night, Cindy. Night, Maui, Huckleberry, Real Jingy, Civilian X. By the way, enjoying the videos, man. I'm looking forward to seeing yours. As you actually got me enjoying watching my own. So good job enjoying the commentary. You actually caught a few things that I didn't. So it's nice to have a fresh perspective. But Doc Holliday, like I said, man, come on over, bro. Get some recreation in.